Hi, welcome to this snapshot video. This is a follow-up on yesterday's report you may have watched. It's tech earnings season, particularly the big US tech stocks. And so, again, following on from yesterday, we had some results on Wednesday. This is the results expected on Thursday. And that's the three A's really: Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet, obviously the group owner of Google. There's a common thread here among these technology shares that they've all been in high demand, and so they're all close to record highs. And so there's certainly a chance of a pop on these earnings, but what we want to look for is perhaps if there are any opportunities to buy in these stocks at better values while they are uptrending. So we're going to have a look at the charts now and just quickly review the earnings outlook and how that impacts where we could go from here. So here we've got the weekly candlestick chart for Apple. As you can see, still a strong uptrend, but we're pulling back to the 20-week moving average, which has acted as support on the last two occasions it's been tested. It also coincides with the previous peak, coming in around the round number about, starting from 168 up into the 170 area. Current support, also the 50 level on the weekly RSI, again a potential area where the market could find value, and obviously does coincide with these earnings results. Talking of those earnings, if we just bring in the numbers that I've pulled from Yahoo Finance, you can see the average estimate we're expecting here is 3.83 on the earnings, 87.06 billion on the revenues, and you can see both of those are accelerations on the previous year. And so we're looking at growth. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that we're looking at still overall growth for the year heading into next year. So the longer term outlook is still favourable for Apple. And just look how we've actually surprised by at least 4% on the last 4 quarters. So, judged on these kind of numbers, if the trend is to continue, we're looking at like a 4% positive surprise on these numbers. Switching gears to Alphabet, you can see that actually Google has really pushed away from its 20-week moving average, looking pretty exuberant here. It's above that 75 level on the RSI, which has proven to be an area that's meant to pull back to that 20-week moving average the last couple of times we've got there, but not much beyond it. We haven't really seen a dramatic pullback past the 20-week moving average for a while, certainly overdue. Should we get back to this previous high down here at 1,080, should these earnings prove a bit disappointing or we get a bit of a sell-off post-earnings, then my feeling is actually probably we get down to this key pivot area down here, which is just ahead of the big 1,000 level. Now, talking about Google's earnings, average estimate here being 9.96 on the earnings. That's ahead of last year, which is 9.36. Average estimate for the revenues, 31.85 billion, well ahead of the 26 billion in the same quarter last year. And again, looking forward for the year and heading into next year, the analyst expectation is that we see still quite a considerable move up in both earnings and revenues. So the long-term outlook still supporting this uptrend. Last but not least, Amazon. This is almost looking exponential in nature now, this price chart. You can see it's really accelerated already. We were consistently testing this rising trend line. We've pushed well away from there in the last few weeks. Maybe due a pullback down to this 1210 level. Maybe these earnings are like a last gasp push before we get up and test 1500 before then there's a pullback. If there's a larger pullback which goes through this rising trend line, then we've got some fairly solid support down here, and basically around the 950, which comes just below that 1,000 mark, which is where we saw that last consolidation of the price. Since we broke 1,000, it's really been all to the top side. Just bringing in those Amazon earnings, you can see the average estimate 1.85 on the earnings. As always with Amazon, it's not obviously about the earnings. They're not as impressive. It's more about the revenue and the revenue growth. And you can see that we're expecting 59.83. That's above the 53.74 last year. 36% sales growth for such a large company. It's all about the growth when it comes to Amazon. Obviously, things like the till-less store, where you just walk in, get your stuff, walk out again. It's all about pushing the boundaries in terms of where Amazon can take its dominance of the retail market. So that's our quick snapshot of those three big US tech companies reporting on Thursday. We've had a review of the price charts, all looking very much like a strong uptrend. So we're looking for these earnings as opportunities for that trend to accelerate or to pull back to some of these support areas that we've mentioned. If you do enjoy these videos, of course, please follow us on social media.